All right, welcome everyone for this session of our Force Friday. Very excited about today. We're going to be talking about how to accomplish force gesture drawings in 1 minute. So you're going to get to watch each one of the instructors today try to deal with that 1 minute threshold and see what we can accomplish in a minute. Hopefully inspire you guys to learn how to pick up the pace in your own drawings. And then at the end, we're going to recap as to what we were actually doing. How did we get here in the first place, and reveal like a good solid list to you as to how this is accomplishable. On a side note, I want to say that I think it's actually really important because, when you're learning how to draw, first of all, one of the things that everyone works on is kind of copying in detail, right? And that leads to getting stuck in all the minutia versus really understanding the big picture of things. And when you're dealing with trying to understand gesture, what you're trying to understand is the big picture, or as the Germans call it, and I happen to be half German, so I love bringing up this word, but Gestalt, right? The Gestalt of all of this, which means understanding the wholeness of something. And I've found over my years of teaching that it seems to be human nature, most common human nature, is to get mired and sort of tunnel visioned in the little stuff, right? So all of us, meaning Mattesi, Swenley, and I, we've all over time learned to try to stop the addiction of the detail, put that towards the back end, right? That's the icing on the cake, and bring your mind more towards, and your thinking more towards the big picture thinking and the simplicity of things before you get into all the small stuff. Now, that aside, this also is really a powerful thing we're going to show you when it comes to work, right? Having art directed for many years, especially in games, you want to be able to iterate, right? You want to be able to come up with ideas very quickly. So if you know how to get away from the details and stick with big picture thinking, that allows you to go after trying to find concepts with not that much effort, right? Because it's about ideas, it's about your mind, not about like how beautiful is this drawing. Ironically, I do think that quick gesture drawings are beautiful, but it's not like a finished polished painting or anything like that. And you can say this goes for speed painting as well, right? Like speed composition, speed painting, how do you get ideas fast? What we're doing today is like speed drawing, right? We're going to show you how to do it with these gestures, right? So with that, hey guys, how you doing? How you doing, Mattesi?
Hey, Mike, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. And how's it going, Swenley?
Yeah, great. Very excited for tonight, as always.
Yeah, I always forget, for you guys, it's late evening, and for me, it's like lunchtime. Right?
It's morning.
Yes, morning. Yeah, exactly. Early morning for you, right? So, so Mattesi is going to go first today. Then Swenley is going to go second. I'm going to go third and kind of bring up the back end, and then give you guys the notes that we're going to discuss. We're each going to time each other to really try to keep us true to the time limits and see again what's possible in 1 minute. So Swenley is going to start off with timing Mattesi. Mattesi is going to go first, get this this session off the ground with his inspiration of seeing how fast he can draw. As we already know, he's like super fast. So let's see what he can do in 1 minute. Again, for those of you that are here, a couple of reminders. First of all, always feel free to type in the chat, email, write us any questions that you may have about what's happening. We do have a prize if we get over 150 likes. So, keep track of the likes. If we get that viewer count up and we can get to 150, we do have a gift for you guys. And that's pretty much it, right? So let's get started. I'll be driving the chat while Mattesi is drawing. He'll have probably about 15 or 20 minutes to draw. What we're going to do is, I think after every sketch of 1 minute, we'll give the instructor a chance to kind of, break down what he did. How did he make that happen? Or Mattesi, you can also go for doing 2 or 3 and then stop. Like, I'm going to leave that totally up to you guys. You stop when you want to stop and go and talk about what you did. Okay. Just so we don't break your train of thought. Okay. All right.
All right.
So it's all yours. You pick up when you want.
All right, guys. Let's jump right in, and then I hope you do have your Red Bulls because
Yeah,
today's
everyone
session
has
is
coffee.
going to be.
Yeah, coffee or Red Bull.
You have your caffeine, I think. All right, so let's start with the first pose. So
Swenley, you got the clock.
Yeah. So before we start, the first thing is what actually, Mike told you about, like some of the overview of it, but how to do it, like how to just jump right in, you see a gesture, and it's really, really helpful, when we're, it's a pretty famous exercise and pretty common exercise in the drawing classes as well, okay? So, the model is giving us a pose. And one of the reasons is some of the poses are really, really difficult to, to handle, like to hold, okay? So let's say like this pose, so pretty dynamic pose, but do it yourself, you'll feel it yourself that, oh my God, after just 30 seconds or 1 minute, you'll be like, oh my God, my back is hurting so much, or something like this. So that's why, just respect your model's efforts and try to get that gesture and try to get like the main power of it, okay? So the first thing is that comes to me when you're doing like quick gestures, the confidence, okay? So let's see, I have a new layer, I have my brush here. Okay, so you can start it. Okay, so
yeah,
we'll see like how quickly, like how fast you can accomplish, something very, very beautiful, I would say, right? Okay, so I'm just focusing on the main ideas, okay? And maybe I'll won't talk that much because I'm super focusing on the quickest way I can make that, okay? And yeah, maybe I can shorten up a little bit, okay? Trying to get that hand on the floor and try to get his leg to complete the function of it. Okay? And maybe I want to get that, get expression in there as well. Okay.
All right, so there's
That's
1 minute, right? Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
good.
That's 1 minute. Yeah. So, you guys can see, that's time's up, and yeah, just getting the main function of it. I'm just getting the hands and trying to balance him with this 4, that's like a base. Okay, so he's also balancing with his hands and the feet as well. So yeah, trying to get this as well. Trying to get some scale as well because yeah, I just run out of a little bit of canvas there, but I would get it. So let's start with the second one. Okay, here's the second one. And I haven't like warmed up for these, like so I haven't practiced on these gestures, so I can give you my real initial reactions to the model. Okay, so let's start. So every pose has like kind of a different story. Okay, this has like a lot of form and foreshortening. Okay, uniform, right? This has like a lot of foreshortening on this one. I'm trying to get that, that scale again. Okay, with his feet. Let's see, I want to get his head as well. Okay. Get his back. My pad is not back up, don't worry about it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm trying to get that thing out in here. And here we go. Yes, so yeah, again, so you see like a lot of form. One of the topics is just like a little bit of form is enough for the drawing. So when you do this, my drawing is complete. Okay, so don't time me something now. Okay, here we go. So when I start with this, I actually did this like some wrapping of it. Okay, it comes in the form chapter in the second class in the course. Okay, so just like a little bit of wrapping gives me the form of it. Okay, before this you can see like a little flat shape. This is just a flat shape, but when I do this, it instantly turns it like a three-dimensional shape that goes into a 3D space. Okay, so yeah, done with this as well. Oh, this is one of my really favorite ones.
I would just add, you guys that are, watching right now, feel free to join in, right? We're going to be going through a lot of reference photos. So, see if you can start when one of us starts and see how far you can get in 1 minute.
Yeah. And you can time me as well.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
All right, so just trying to get that hunchback. Okay, I really love this. The squish. I mean, all right. Enough of the soft touch. I would like to get some more specifics in here. Make it a little bit shorter. All right, trying to get that scale again. I mostly choose like a lot of scale photos. Just I don't know why. That makes me happy. We want to accomplish like the story, the drama, and the pose in the least time as I can. Trying to get this hand. Trying to get his face as well. Trying to get some perspective out of it.
That's 1 minute.
And here we go. Right. Yeah. Sorry, I cheated a little bit. But yeah, here we go again. So like how I'm actually doing it, I'm gonna break it up for you. So basically the thing is I'm going for the main idea, okay? So there's like a story in every pose, as I said. My layer, okay. So there's like a story in every pose, as I said. So what's the story of this pose? So he's like, oh, he's like a Spider-Man pose. He's just going for something. He's like maybe like standing on a building or something. He's just like trying to spy on someone. Okay, so hunching of the back, and that idea is like traveling through his neck, to his face there. Okay, so I'm just going for the main ideas in the every pose. And again, as soon as you see a pose, there comes story in your mind, and that may be different for every one of you. Okay, so try to play that story in your mind, and try to think of that model inside that story, and yeah, you'll just get it. You get your main ideas, and what you have to do, you just have to build up your confidence and try to get that feeling out on paper. Okay, so once you get your ideas, then the game is over. All right, let's get this one. All right, time me. Initially, I drew this and I was like, oh, that's gonna be short for me. So you see now I'm not even making a body. This is one of the really powerful tool. Okay, I'm not even making a body. I'm not even trying to make the body. What I'm just trying to do is like accomplish my function out of it. It's like a story out of it. It's like, oh, just give me this, whatever. Just try to like give me this, whatever you have. Give me all your soul. Trying to get this figure balance. Trying to make him balance.
Time's up.
Okay, let's just get this here. Yeah.
So that one was interesting. I just want to comment on what was interesting here is you started with this arc for the legs, and then you kind of place the shape of model's torso on top of it, right? And like you said, it's almost more of an abstraction, right? Yeah, trying to see how those two things are coming to the ground, right? The only thing missing in this one, I would say right now, is the connection between the two, right? Like drawing through it and trying to see, right? Like I would maybe just add, let's see if I can annotate here. I want to just show the audience something here. I don't know if I can though. No, you know what? I can't annotate when you're on the iPad. The main thing would just be to get the spine in there and have that arc coming over the top, right? And that'll start to connect, and then maybe through his head, getting like where the bottom of his butt is, like behind his face. Right? Yeah, so you have the bottom of the torso, right? And then you'd suddenly get like, yeah, exactly. Then you'd get a full picture of the whole torso in there, Yeah. And then I think that would work as like a 1 minute gesture. All of a sudden you've got the whole thing,
Right.
Yeah,
that's cool. Very cool tip. What really amazes me is that sometimes you don't even just trying to draw the body, but you're just trying to do some abstractions, and there we go. Just have to understand the connection between it. Yeah. All right, let's get this one. Yeah, this one is standing pose, finally a standing pose for you guys. So let's start here. Now, what's the story of this pose? Really like the story of this pose is like the scrunching of his back. So I would really like trying to get that. I won't even like bother. You don't have to like make the whole figure like every time. Okay? It's about like, again, as I said, it's about main story. Okay, I was really like trying to get that first of all. That's my main idea. So as you can see, like nobody would just go for that detail in like a 30-second or 1 minute gesture, but I'm going for it because that is what I want to represent first of all. And you can see like his neck is almost disappeared because it's just like so something like this. Okay. So yeah, really, really strong part of that. Now, just to make him balance, there's like 5 seconds left. I can just.
Time's up.
Yep.
And he just has one leg.
So yeah, I got you. So here we go. No. So yeah, I would say he would be going something like this, right? Rather, but that's what I said. As I'm talking, I may just like miss some functions there, but just trying to get that main story out. There's like scrunching up his back and that neck, like really stick to the torso, like the shoulders, and he got his like main story pose there. So let's jump right into the next one. So what do you see in this one? Yeah, what do you see in this one? It's just like the throw, okay? That I'm seeing that throw, okay? So let's get this out. I wanna like this stretch like going and this twist that's going and this stretch that's going, okay? All right, I'm gonna make it really short. Change my brush. Give it some form because form is also important at this point. I'm gonna get her legs. This is like something like this, and yeah, I just want to go with my main ideas here. Okay. As you can see, like that throwing here. And also, this is very important because now she's balanced, okay? Without this, she would be just like falling over. So you can see like I'm really like going for that, going for what? Like the function? Okay, the function of her, like what she's doing. And yeah, basically here I go.
Time's up.
I was
just in time.
Yeah, just in time. So yeah. So this is it, and now look, what I was doing here is I'm again like focusing on the function with those abstract ideas. Okay, so as I said before, you don't have to draw the whole body, but here should be like really like falling over if I don't draw it because it's such a complicated pose. She's balanced on one of her hands here, one of her legs here, so that's again like really important to draw. But again, I want to capture this this throw here, okay, and then twist in her torso. So yeah, sometimes it becomes important to draw that, sometimes it not. Okay, so that's basically you gotta decide, which is important, which is not. Okay. Go for the function. Just focus on your main ideas, I would say. Okay, and yeah, and enjoy basically. This is what I love. Enjoy. Okay, let's start with this.
This will be our last one, and then we'll have Swanley go.
All right. This. What's my main function? I really like this hand a lot. As you can see, like 3% is different forces in the fingers. Again, this hand is super important. Okay, I would say, like, I'm really focusing on this gap in here, the calf muscles. Trying to get that clarity there. And with the neck connected there. Okay. So
Time's up.
maybe if I
Time's up.
They're so strict, man. All right. Let me get this here. All right. Here I'm done. Just done. So what you get out of my session, just enjoy. First of all, be confident. Again, it's not gonna hurt. I'm gonna repeat it a million times that it's not gonna hurt if you just ruined it. As you can see, I ruined some of the drawings here, but I can go with another iteration. It just took like 1 minute of my life. Okay, it's totally worth it. So, and whenever you're planning, like maybe you're drawing from imagination, you're gonna go like this. Okay, you don't want to go like this. You just want to flow around. Okay, you just want to explore yourself. And then when the time of cleanup comes, that will come. Okay, that it will eventually come when you want to present someone with a like really clean line and colors. But yeah, this is how you can explore. Okay, this is how you would explore. You don't want to like start with this hairy line and like, oh my god, I'm gonna push with like my little details, or I'm gonna start with the eyes. Okay, I'm gonna start with the eye. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed, and I'm gonna hand it over to Sunday. Thanks.
Yeah, awesome, Mattesi.
Thanks.
Are there any questions from the chat?
No, more about the website. So I'll just keep fielding those, and you guys can keep your eye.
Okay. Let's see. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's start with the first reference. And are you going to time me, Mike?
I'd like Mattesi to, if you can, so I can keep running the chat.
All
Okay.
right, I'll do it.
Okay, ready to start? So
no, wait.
Hang on a second.
All right, stopwatch, go.
Yeah, okay. So let's see what she's doing here. I think you really want to do is really loosen up. Going to focus on the forces, draw the connections. And going to keep this super loose and fluid. Just holding that rope. Just stretching. And actually, I need to resize. So you have this rope here. One thing I keep telling students is whenever the figure is interacting with a prop, you want to draw that, like oftentimes they would just, yeah, oftentimes they would just come in and it's
too much fun with
they have a floating figure in place. You want to draw the story. Now I'm just going to do another iteration on this one. So let's go. Let's see if it can be.
I'm going to be more strict with you.
Select stretching. And we start a bit smaller so it can fit the whole thing. So I'm keeping this super loose and fluid and really focus on.
Time's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a good one.
Yeah, good.
Say, let's do it one last time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
I want to get it stretch. And I would say it was really challenging for me always to draw quick gestures. What's really helping with that is actually the skating the page exercise. Really helped me to just loosen up and flow around and not get caught up in details like Mrityunjay mentioned earlier. So the next rope, like this is important to the story, so I always want to get that in there. You feel that hair's falling. You really want to emphasize stretch and this compression.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right, it's good. Let's go to the next one.
Can I add a little something like really quick here? You know, so audience, you know, you can see like the power of iteration here. Now, what Swanley is doing. So imagine that you're doing like a pose, and you're doing it like 5 minutes per pose. Okay, like a 10 minutes per pose, and here you can see that you are doing like three poses in 3 minutes. Okay, so I would say like fail quicker, you will learn a lot more faster. Okay, so yeah, really like see the power of iteration that Swanley is doing here, right? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for adding that.
All right, here we go.
So this leg is supporting all the weight. Really want it firmly planted on the ground. And this one is stretching. So I'm just flowing freely and drawing the connections. You know, I'm not just drawing brackets. You know, everything needs to be connected. So you want this fluid, like connective tissue throughout the whole figure. So it should be a bit higher. You feel the power in this arm, expanding and holding onto that staff, almost like he's driving it right to the ground to connect the head.
All right, thumbs up.
Right.
Darn, that 1 minute. Right.
Let's go at it again.
Hopefully what you guys are seeing between Mrityunjay and Swanley is, you know, in 1 minute, they're getting the big idea down, right? And what's allowing that to happen is what we teach at drawingforce.com, right? Which is that rhythm, finding rhythms in the body. And if you know those systems, the systems allow you to draw really fast. One of the biggest issues when students are trying to draw gestures quickly is you don't know where to go, you don't know where to start. And it's like this moment of overwhelm, right? It's like, what do I do, right? And that already right there is eating up time. You know, and all of us, of course, have been drawing enough to just kind of know, like, okay, I'm looking at the model. This is what I'm going to do. Boom, you just get started. And if you know what to do, it doesn't take long to do it. It's the challenge of figuring out what to do that takes time. It's that confusion, right? And the confidence and clarity to know what to do is what allows you to work really fast, because the actual action of drawing doesn't take that much time, right? And that's hopefully what you guys are, what you're seeing, you know, with Mrityunjay and Swanley drawing.
Right, time's up.
Yeah, so I have not a question, but a comment, Swanley, for you that came out of the forum. Frank was mentioning, and a couple of the others were saying your sense of proportion seems so good. You know, do you have any suggestions towards that, how you're nailing that, or is there something going on in the back of your mind we're not seeing?
Proportions. Well, I'm first of all, I'm using shape, like positive and negative shape, and I'm just looking at distances. You know, for example, what's the distance from the bottom of the torso to the knee, and what's the distance from here to here? You know, so I'm just looking at these distances and the shapes, and with practice, it becomes second nature. You know. Okay, let's have one last shot at this one.
All right, let's go.
So I'm going to use a bit more shape this time. Oops. So I really want to drive power from the
All right, it's done.
torso into that arm. That's the main idea.
There's a question for you, Sandy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mickey is asking, how long do we need to do gestures to understand the form?
How long do you need to do gestures for what?
Gestures to understand the form.
I don't understand gestures on the forum.
How
Gestures.
long do we need to do gestures to understand form? I think the confusion
Oh.
here is gestures don't necessarily mean that's how you learn form. I think you learn form as kind of its own discipline, but you know, as you're learning it, you bring that into your gesture drawings. You know, I don't know if gesture drawing is the best way to learn form, I guess, to kind of answer that question. Form takes a little more patience and time. Here you're under the pressure of the clock. I don't think it's actually the best place to learn form.
Yeah, like you need to learn first of all, you know, the basics of perspective, you know, and how to draw simple geometric forms, and then you relate the figure to the simple forms. You know, like Mike said, that's a whole other subject to study by itself. It doesn't come to gesture drawing. All right, let's see. It's an interesting one.
All right, let's go.
Okay, I'm going to keep this super fluid and loose. Start with the torso, then we want you're holding your lower back here to keep the balance. Visualize the shoulder or the forehand. Okay, so this is basically it, you know, like the legs and the neck and head are pretty much secondary in this pose. It's really about how she's supporting her lower back with her arms. This will go off screen. No, like the story is there.
Yeah, and you're done, just in time.
Yeah, and after this it's just refinement. Let's have another go at it.
All right, let's go.
And again, it's this skating the page idea. You want to loosen up and make your lines long and fluid. Feel the weight here. And don't forget to connect the head and neck fluidly to the torso.
Yeah, done.
All right, so that's number 2. Let's go for a third one.
All right, let's go.
You want to feel the tension. Okay, there's some 4 shapes in here.
All right, you're done.
Okay.
I'd say you have time for maybe one more, Swami.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go for this guy. Okay, so he's bending. As you can see, my approach is pretty organized. You know, quick drawing or not, the main function we're looking for is balance. So I'm starting with the torso and then prioritizing the limbs that keep it balanced. In standing poses, that of course is one or both legs.
How you're getting like shapes in 1 minute.
Yeah, I mean, once you get the forces,
yeah,
it's pretty easy to get a shape. You need to find that curve first. Like, it's called force shape, you know, which means force comes first. You can add some rib cage.
And you're done.
Yeah, that's good.
How much you have accomplished in that little time? It's amazing.
All right, I think my time is up, right?
Yeah. That was awesome. Right. I think what's great about this last one that you did is the fact that you got actually a full silhouette and everything in there as well, you know, which is really cool. You know, it's not just the rhythms of the body, but you got form in there and you got you got shape in there, you got some structure in there. There's a lot of information in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Let me stop the share.
All right. Let's see. All right, guys. I'm going to try to hit this as well. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try as best I can to try to teach you some stuff in the midst of all this as well. I feel like I can go on and do this for probably 4 hours just to keep sharing the little tips and tricks with you about how to do this. Unfortunately, I have about 20-25 minutes, so I'll do the best I can. Let me get us to the layers here. Okay. And there was a bunch of questions that came out of it. There's 2 that I wanted to try to hit up. One was from James asking about what if something's not dramatic? Like, how do you do that? How do you draw it fast and with some, you know, fluidity? And I think the other one was about drawing from imagination. So I think I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to take some of these poses and then maybe we'll plus them and push from imagination and then even try to do some drawings from imagination and see if I can get anywhere with that. Let's toss this guy out. Here's my first photograph. I'm going to go to full screen here. So I've got some room as big as I can get this, right? Hold on, I need to create a new layer. Let's see, is this good? All right, one of you guys going to time me?
All right, I'll do it.
All right, on your marks.
Get set.
Go. what I'm doing now is I'm going to start adding anatomy. Am I done?
No, you're halfway. 40 seconds.
Wow. Okay. So look, I got shapes, I got the rhythm, everything. I'm going to start putting anatomy in here and more form. All right. Let's get his neck in here. Here's his hair. Maybe I'll get something of his face in here.
And you're done.
Okay. So what did I do? Right. What I'm really doing, and this is kind of my big secret to share with you guys today, is I draw actually from force shape. Okay. So if you look at this, let's see, I'll knock the opacity down here. What I did here is I went from shape to shape to shape. I started with this big body shape. I think I went into his arm. I got the shape of his arm, and then I'm looking at silhouettes of what I'm drawing. And then I just plug in a little bit of form or anatomy. Like one area I think I should have added in here is I got the shape of the leg. Just having this curve here in the shorts, that would have helped, right? That would have told us the leg's going away. So it doesn't take much on the form side to give you perspective, but if I can get fluid force shape and draw that with my fluidity and confidence, that I can get really far really fast, right? So you can see that was 1 minute. I had already the whole pose down. All I had to do is I had time to get like his deltoid in there. I even got his face and his ear there, right? He even put his latissimus dorsi in here. I started putting some anatomy in because I just drew fluid shapes connecting into one another, right? Okay, let's see. Let me get out of this full screen. Let's go to the next one. So I tried to grab one to James's question before. Here's one that doesn't have that much drama, right? And I think this one I'll draw a couple of times. I'm going to try and start with what he's giving me, and then I'm going to try to push the drama. Okay. So ready? Hold on a second. Let me, yeah, ready, set, go. I'm shrinking him down, and I don't like doing that. Like there. You know, if you start looking at how much shape am I using, you'll realize it's all like shape based, especially in gesture, right? I'm being really fast about that. Not fast enough though, because here I'm wasting time with some detail. Let's get his head in there. I want the upwardness of the jaw. I'm upping the size just to get it in there. And then his arm is going like this. Get his chest.
All right, you're done.
Okay, so there's my first take, right? This one I just barely fit in there. So here's one with not that much, right, going on. I think his legs got a little short because I tried to squeeze him in this page. So always watch out for that. That's a bad trap. You'll notice in the shorts, one real quick trick for form, believe it or not, is this S that I threw in here, right? I did it very abstractly. I was like, whoop, like this. What that gave me was pushing up on the hip and its roundness, but pushing down in the stomach and its roundness, right? So pretty powerful. Sometimes something is moving only in one direction around this, and that curved line tells me it's this kind of tube or it's this kind of tube. But there's lots of moments in the body where I use this S because it's two forms meeting each other. And not only is it S is created for rhythm, but S can be used for two forms going in opposite directions. And that S is fast way of doing that, right? And that turning edge was right there. So I went up in the hip and down in the stomach, you see? So now what I'm going to do in the next minute, I'm going to try and take this and crank it up, right? It almost feels like it could be like a superhero pose. So I'm going to try to do that, okay? And this is another thing, right? We talked in the past about inspiration and all that. I'm going to try to say, here's my inspiration for this photo. It's got some feeling I want in it, but I want to plus it, right? I want to push it. So ready, set,
all right, let's go.
Go. So I'm gonna instead push the chest this way instead of the S. I'm gonna make it a C. I'm going to push out in the chest, push this up. I'm going to push his chin up higher too. Make him even cockier. right? Here's my S again. Maybe I give him thicker, stronger legs and maybe a wider stance. I'm gonna put 1 foot there and 1 foot there. Some roundness, right? Some roundness. This is just notes for me. Leg going away, leg coming towards me. I could put it in the shorts. So it's going this way, it's going this way. But notice the power of these shapes. Right, here's his lats. I can now start getting into anatomy.
Yeah, you're done.
Okay, so you can see I pushed this, right? I pushed the chest up, I brought the chin up, I got the arms up, I spread the legs further apart, right? You can see how in 1 minute, this is 2 minutes of work, right? Remember, folks, this is 2 minutes. So James was asking also about how's this work used at a job, right? So imagine I'm a concept artist and I have to come up with a pose for a character. I might see this on the internet somewhere and then go, okay, that's kind of cool, but I want to go further. I can take some of the ideas, even take the face and stuff, but I can take this and keep plussing it, right? So that's one way that you could work, is to take something and keep pushing it. Again, I'm driving off of shape, and shape with force connecting from one thing to another with a little bit of form is enough for me to do a 1 minute drawing that even has a little bit of anatomy in it, right? So where's the form, right? It's in the deltoid, it's in the shorts, It happens in overlap, right? So if I have the leg and it's coming out like this, and I say, here's the calf, behind it, any kind of overlapping moments give me form as well, right? So I have to be aware of what's in front and what's in back, and that ends up giving me space also, okay? And it gives it to me quickly, right? Really, really fast. Okay, here's another one. I'm gonna try to do this one cleaner and still go for shape to really try to bring it out, but a little bit more stylized almost. Let's see if I can get this to feel a little more cartoonish, okay?
Ready,
okay,
set, go.
Yep. I hate when I waste time to move it because I don't want to do that, but I'm getting all over the place with this guy. I can feel myself running out of time, so I'm trying to crank along here.
You're the fastest, don't worry.
Yeah, I can feel when I'm like, I'm taking too long on this decision.
All right,
so here's one.
There you go.
Yeah, so here's one that was, a little more designed. I tried to show you a little bit more of my straight and curve ideas. It's a little cleaner and simpler. I even pushed a little bit more aesthetic in here. I could draw layer upon layer upon layer on top of this to cartoon it almost, right? To get clarity and shape. What I missed in here, I think the one thing I'm missing is I would have probably put this in here a little bit more with 2 or 3 more seconds. You see, I want that S to happen. I got it in the body and in the shape of the body, but man, that's a great little detail, right? So that's me kind of abstracting to simplify as much as I can, right? So there's a 1 minute, right? All right, let's see what else we have. Okay, so now we got this one. I think what I'm gonna try here, I'm gonna do 2 things here. I wanna, first of all, I'm gonna draw the way a lot of art instruction gets taught, and I'm gonna try to not do force here, and I'm gonna try to measure this out, right? And let's just see how far I get, and I'll do it as fast as I can. Okay, hold on, let me go full screen. All right, ready?
All right,
set,
yeah,
go. So this is a lot of what I see students come to me with at the website. And I'm going to do it fast, faster than probably most here, but I'm going to try and just crank out like some measurement. So you can see I'm not dealing with force now at all. Right, I'm trying to measure things out. I'm still being pretty loose even with the measuring, but I want you to see how long this starts to take. And I'm, like I said, I'm moving probably more quickly than most. And we'll see, I might just make it. We'll see.
45 seconds.
Okay, not bad, right? Moving along.
Yeah.
So if I was a super fast measurer, I might actually get there, all right?
All right, here we go. Stop.
Okay, so almost, right? I almost made it. I almost got a silhouette, but the problem here is, first of all, the line, besides the fact that I don't think this feels like a confident drawing at all, and I'm using all my force skill kind of hidden in here to try to make it feel like it's connected, but it's still kind of choppy and doesn't feel holistic. And I didn't get to finish. All right, remember, I've been drawing the other poses at 1 minute, and I even got some anatomy in there, plus force, plus shape, right? Perspective, form, like all this stuff going on. All right, so now let's try it. I'm gonna do it again, but I'll do it forcefully and try to get shape involved in there. So let's take a look here. Let me just get ready. All right, ready? Let's go.
All right, go.
Make her hand big. I hate drawing this small. I need a bigger Cintiq. So used to 18 by 24 paper. My biggest challenge digitally always is size.
We all did the sin of resizing today.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Stop.
Okay. What do we got, right? Let's see if we can shrink these down. Yeah, so just more, you can see the difference in just what the goal is, right? They were both simple for what they are because it's 1 minute, right? But what I'm getting at this, at least, is a giant understanding of how the whole body is working versus me just angling it out and measuring. Now, to be really frank with you, some of you could be here today and go, I want this kind of style. I like this angularity. That's totally fine. Like, I have nothing against it. I think it's kind of cool too. But what it's missing is it doesn't have the movement. It doesn't have the connection. It doesn't have the holisticness. I think you start here and you kind of learn. You can get pretty angular style-wise with an illustration, but understand still how to get this in here. I could tweak this very little and just make it connect a little bit more, just bring a little bit of this over, and all of a sudden you can have this more angular style with fluidity, Okay, let's see what I have left and how am I doing on time? All right, I've still some time. I have this last one, and then I want to try to do some drawings for you from imagination as well. All right.
All right, there we go.
There's my shape. All right, let's set this arm up. I'm going to try to go for shape on this one, and I'm going to do it as organically as possible. I'm going to just draw the truth. As fast as I can. It's harder because now I'm trying to draw real, but at the same time, keep force going and form going. Someone was asking before, what is the phase 3 force line? Well, this would be it because it's the beginning of it. I'm drawing fast, but I'm trying to draw what I really see, right?
All right, here we go.
Excuse me, ton?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's where I got to. So it took me a little longer. I drew less. You'll notice there's less line here than some of my other drawings, but I tried to make each line count more, right? Because And that took me time. It took my mind a few seconds per line to go, look, what is it? It's this, right? Look, what is it? It's this. Look, what is it? It's this, you know? So that ate up some of my time. And, you know, if I had done it my normal way, where I think I kind of have my general idea for each part of the body, I probably could have gotten more done. Like, I think this still needs a center line, maybe a line for her chest, right? Something that's going to give me more of the depth going away. This obviously still needs to be worked on because I'm not getting her foot up here, right? This needs to come down more. And then I could have gotten this shape in here more, right? And then trying to get her head shape in there more correctly, you see? Okay, so what I want to close with before we go over the last tips and tricks is I thought I would draw from imagination for you. You know, that's always a big question. It's like, all right, and in the mentorships, even this week, I've got a couple of students at this stage. And, you know, it's like, how do I go from drawing from reference to imagination? Well, the first trick I think there is when you're drawing from reference, draw from reference as if you're drawing from imagination. And that means you should be doing all the work from reference that it would take you to draw something from your head, right? And then over time, you learn how to simplify that down to where you can draw out of your head pretty quickly and put basically the three balls in the air of force, form, and shape. So you're juggling the whole time going force, form, shape, right? And trying to keep these things going. On a short note, my epiphany to this, I think I may have mentioned this in prior videos, was I was at Disney Animation. I was in betweening on Timon for Lion King, and his fingers actually are what led me to forceful shape. I saw this in the finger, and believe it or not, that opened up the gateway for me. This little silly drawing right here is what made everything click for me, right? So I'm going to draw from shape, and I'm going to just sit here and doodle. So why don't you time me on these, Mrityunjay, and I'll just crank out one at a time. We'll see where I get with 1 minute per, okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. All right, so I'm just going to sketch, right? Try to get some form in here. I'm even putting some detail. Wow, so 45 seconds. Look, I've still got plenty of time, right? Get the spine in there, separate the back a little bit more. I get his deltoid in there. I can put his bicep in there, right? You get the collarbone in there, maybe the neck. Maybe I even get something of the face. Time?
Now you're done. Yeah.
All right. So look, 1 minute sketch, right? Force, form, shape, and even some anatomy. All right. Okay, let's just try another one, right? Let's try like a Spider-Man-ish kind of thing. There we go. I don't have an idea in my head yet, so keep that in mind. I'm kind of drawing and I'm like, where am I going to go with this? I actually don't know in this one. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. That's a question I get asked a lot. I don't know yet. I'm kind of working my way back there in space. Let's see, I'm getting back, and then I'm like, all right, let's maybe get one leg out here. Maybe I'll have that go back like that. Maybe his other leg is like here. Maybe this, I'll have this one go straight down, right? So this is in shadow. And then just to get this arm out of the way, I'm going to put it on the other side. Give him Spider-Man hand.
Clear the silhouette.
Yeah, exactly. Clear silhouette.
Yeah, now you're done. Yeah.
Okay. So 1 minute, right? Here's like web and whatever. Okay, let's do some more. Any questions on the drawing from imagination from the chat?
They're asking about the shape. How do you connect, like the shapes?
Okay. All right, let's see. I'll try to draw this one with really clear shape. See if I can point it out. All right, I don't have an idea again. I'm gonna, let's draw someone flying, right? I like comics. We'll see if we can come up with flying. All right, ready?
All right, let's go. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to do the chest pushing out thing again. So here's the shape. I'm going to push the chest forward and the straight back, and I'm going to push this into a C torso. This guy's going this way. I'm going to draw an arm here. So that's going to be a curve to straighten the deltoid, and then long curve to a straight for the arm with like a fist up here. And I can add to the shape to add some anatomy and form. I got the elbow in there, right? Maybe some of the chest, right? Maybe we get this other arm coming out like this. Bicep, forearm, arm. I'm shaping. I'm literally shaping as I go. All right. Here's his lats. I'm shaping the anatomy too. Now I'm taking a big risk here. I'm at 1 minute, but I put a ton of anatomy in there. So now let's see if we can pull this off, right? So here I got his leg straight, you know, front to back. I know what the rhythm is. So the shapes are pretty easy if I know that. I'll point the feet down on this one. Maybe we'll have this leg come up.
All right, we're done.
Done. Okay, so I didn't get to the head in here, right? 3 more seconds, we'll get a face in here, right? And maybe a cape, right? Like there's my pose, right? But it was all shaped out. You know, even on something like the arm, you'll notice I went from the deltoid, which was a shape, a force shape, to a shape for the arm, which was a long straight with a curve. You see how simple that is, right? And then I said, I want the arm tilting towards me. So the elbow, I use these wrinkles in the elbow to give me the roundness, right? And then the shape of the form, you have this muscle over here, the brachioradialis. So I know that this shape works because I've got this curve over here and a small curve and a straight on the other side. And then I angled the fist. I always like breaking the wrist if I can, like pointing it in a different direction so it doesn't flow right from the hand. Right, it just gives me something cooler to look at. So all of that, you know, everything I did today with shape, guys, was really built off of like this. Vast majority of it is this or something like this, right? And I can use that anywhere in the body, right? I used it in the legs and the torso. It's me understanding this shape and how to use it and get some really simple form in it, right? And that's what hopefully I tried to show you guys today. So what did we talk about, right? Let's close up here. How are we doing on time? We're probably a little bit over. Yeah. Let's close up our session. So in closing, I want to share with you guys, well, Swenley, Mrityunjay, and I want to share with you guys these last notes. How to draw a quick gesture, right? What did we do today? The most important thing is to like be clear and like confident, right? And the way you gain that clarity is through systems, right? And at drawingforce.com, we're teaching you systems in a sense, right? And the system is rhythm, right? So we teach you the force line, which builds up your confidence and clarity of knowing what kind of stroke you're using. That's already getting a huge like question mark off the table. Is like, well, how am I going to attack the page, right? That later leads to form, it leads to shape, right? So once you understand that, you start getting a grasp of what the systems are, rhythm being probably the most important one. And that gets all 3 of us, as you saw today, through the body very, very quickly, right? Like really fast. Loosen up, right? The common mistake that I see in students, and I've been there, I'm not, you know, I'm not alone on this. I'm not any different than you guys, is don't get stuck on the details. You have 1 minute, right? I love when I teach classes in the colleges and I start them off with like 30-second and 1 minute poses, right? And everyone like frantically goes chaotic, right? It's like, I don't know how to do that. 1 minute, so fast. Well, because everyone wants to just like focus down on these tiny, tiny little details, right? So we don't want to do that. Draw with confidence. We talked about that, right? You got to get the strokes down. You just have to keep pushing forward in that 1 minute. And over time, you'll get used to what 1 minute feels like. And it's just like, you know, pounding through the fear, right? The concern to just be able to get confident in that space. Draw small, think big, and draw big, feel the power. What does this mean? In the books, I don't teach this, I have to say, admittedly, too much on the website because I usually focus on the draw big, feel the power. Meaning, if you draw bigger, you really do get a sense of what the force line is like and that it's powerful. You feel its energy, you feel the force of drawing and what it physically means. But on the flip side, Mrityunjay actually brought this up, and it is in the books. I have notes there on like, well, when you draw small, you get to think big, right? Because if you see something small like a thumbnail, you can see the whole thing very quickly. So the trick is, I think, using both, right? I recommend draw big because you want to feel what force is like, but drawing small as a thumbnail will get you to see it. If I were to separate it in another way, I would say draw small, think big, draw small, think big is mental. Draw big is physical, right? You want to feel what force actually does. When you draw small, it's more of a mental exercise of trying to understand how things work, right? And last but not least, as hopefully we all proved to you today, just a hint of form is actually enough. A line, literally one line, one curved line, immediately creates direction in space, right? It's amazing how powerful one mark on a piece of paper is and all the meaning that can get attached to it, right? So, you know, so I hope this helped you guys, right? It's probably my favorite thing to do, I have to say. I would say force gesture is the foundation of what we teach, right? You know, I have to admit, I live in the space of like 1 minute to 5 minute drawing, right? So I've learned over the years how to get the shapes down, how to see the models in simple ways, how to just get the right hints of anatomy in there to show me form or the power of just a wrapping line or a loop, and always trying to think big picture, you know, and it takes time. Remember, in a way, you have to like unbrainwash yourself from getting stuck in the minutiae of detail, right? So before we leave, I want to see if there's any other questions. Still have to work a lot on confidence, just keep drawing, yeah. Let's see, I guess, drawing thumbnails had been a life changer, honestly, as suggested. Awesome. Yeah, that's great, Tom. I was able to join. Did you do the survey? No, we're doing a survey for Discord tonight. It's going out, Andy. I think I'm going to put it over here as well. I'll probably put a shorter version of the survey that we're sending out to our members on the website. I'll probably try to put something up here too. And that is it. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend, right? Stay safe. Go and try testing out what 1 minute is like. By the way, to be clear, because sometimes students come in and they start with these quick 1 or 2 minutes drawings and they, like I said, it just frazzles them. The goal of 1 minute is not to cause anxiety, right? We're not here to make you anxious about drawing. The goal is to get you out of thinking about details, okay? So you don't have to time yourself or time yourself loosely, just be aware of what it takes for you to get to a gesture. Does it take you 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, right? But be honest with yourself about, am I getting the gesture down? Am I starting to sit here and draw all these details I don't need? There's a cutoff somewhere in there. The trick with the gesture is draw what you need, right? You need force, you need some form, and you need shape, right? If you want to get a full silhouetted body, you need silhouette, you need shape. Force is to connect the whole body together, and you need just a little bit of form to say what direction in space is each part of the body going in, right? From limb to limb to limb, you know, from joint to joint, right? From hip to knee, what direction? From knee to ankle, what direction? From shoulder to elbow, what direction, right? And that's it, right? So make sure you don't get caught up in the webs of detail, okay?
And enjoy.
All right, guys. Yeah, yeah, and have fun, right? Have fun. It's like I said, the timer's not there for anxiety. The timer is there to try and teach you to not get stuck in detail, okay? All right, guys, like I said, have a great week. We will see you next Friday with hopefully another awesome session, all right? Thank you, Mrityunjay and Swenley, for all your great drawing today, and we'll see you soon. Take care, guys.
Yes. Bye, see you guys.
Bye-bye.